Live from the Ball State News Center, this is NewsLink Indiana in high definition.
Good evening and welcome to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Jesse Cordray.
And I'm Tati Paradashvili. Thanks for joining us. In this crazy month of weather we have a chance of more severe weather conditions tonight.
Tony Sandlaben joins us now in studio. Tony, what's happening out there?
Well, what's happening outside right now, guys, is a lot of rain. We saw some pretty severe weather a little bit earlier today. You can see now looking at radar right around here, Muncie, Anderson area. That's where the most severe weather was earlier today. Now, those tornado warnings have expired and were not renewed, so the rotation we were seeing has subsided. But hail and lightning and wind, all things that we really need to watch out for if you're in these areas, because that's going to cause quite a bit of damage if you're not careful. We saw some quarter-inch size hail reported in Daleville throughout Delaware County, so definitely be on the lookout for things like that. As far as our severe threat is concerned, Muncie and most of central Indiana looking in just the slight risk area of severe weather. Not really much to worry about aside from, as I said, winds, damaging winds, and possibly some hail as well. Always be on the lookout for lightning, not to mention rain. As you can see outside, it's wet. This is our live look at McKinley Avenue right now, currently sitting at 71 degrees, west-southwest winds going at about 11 miles an hour. Coming up in our full forecast, we have our headlines here. Severe weather could continue this evening. We may have some cooler temperatures coming up later on throughout the week and into next week. And of course, if you're going to late night carnival, that is tomorrow, I'll have your full forecast.
Thank you, Tony. Graduating season is just around the corner and many graduating seniors are preparing for a new chapter. Most of those seniors are closing the book on their time in Muncie. NewsLink's Brianna Bobbitt talked to some of those students planning on leaving Muncie in May.
Graduation is coming soon, and seniors are getting prepared for the next step in their life and are looking for career opportunities. Many Ball State students are looking outside of Muncie, including Delisa Plummer, who is a family consumer science major. She plans to move out of the state and explains why she personally believes students should leave to go elsewhere.
Bigger opportunities, more excitement, because I'm pretty sure a lot of the people that go here probably live in this city or live in smaller Indiana cities or live in Indianapolis or just in Indiana at some point. And I'm pretty sure, like how I am, they're probably just over it. They probably just don't want to be here. They probably have bigger goals, bigger opportunities.
Michelle Howard, who is also a graduating senior, had considered staying in Muncie but found that her career goals would not be a great fit in Muncie.
I did for a little bit because I could work at the transportation office since I've worked there for a year, but there's not a whole lot with my majors around here because I want to work more with like exotic animals and stuff like that, or like larger cities for criminal justice, so Muncie's not really an option for me.
In 2015, 74% of Ball State students stayed in Indiana. While many may not stay in Muncie, many graduates find opportunities within the state. In Muncie, Brianna Bobbitt, NewsLink, Indiana.
A survey conducted by the Curiel Center showed that the top 3 states that Ball State graduates go to for jobs are Indiana, Illinois, and Ohio.
It may be last call on cold beer sales at Ricker's convenience stores. Today, Republican leaders in the Indiana State House reached an agreement on a measure that will likely shut down the store's cold beer sales. Store owner Jay Ricker circumvented the state's laws prohibiting gas stations and convenience stores from selling carry-out cold beer by installing seating and serving burritos at 2 of his stores. That gave him a restaurant classification and the right to sell cold beer. If it passes, the measure would force Riker to stop sales by April of next year. Both the House and Senate must still vote on the bill.
The finalists have been selected for the upcoming vacancy on the Indiana Supreme Court. Judges Vicky Carmichael, Christopher Goff, and Matthew Kincaid are in the race for the position. The state commission who picked the candidates will report to Indiana Governor Eric Holcomb in the coming days. Holcomb has 60 days to then choose who will be replacing retiring Justice Robert Rucker. Rucker, the court's only black judge, will retire in May after the bench. The judge who President Trump railed against during his campaign will oversee the case of a man who claims he was unfairly deported by U.S. authorities. Judge Gonzalo Curiel was frequently targeted by Trump over his handling of a lawsuit. against the now defunct Trump University. Candidate Trump repeatedly referred to Curiel, who was born in East Chicago, Indiana, but is of Mexican heritage. A quote, a hater and a Mexican. Curiel graduated from Indiana University's law school. He was appointed to the district court for the Southern District of California in 2011 by then President Obama.
Indiana University will no longer admit athletes with a history of sexual or domestic violence. Under a policy approved this month, the school is banning all prospective student athletes who have been convicted or have pleaded guilty or no contest to a felony involving sexual violence from its programs. The policy was started by Athletic Director Fred Glass, who consulted with the university's Office of Student Welfare and Title IX and its Student Athletes Advisory Committee. Bill O'Reilly will be paid tens of millions of dollars as part of his exit from Fox News Channel, according to sources personally involved with the story. Sources say the payout is part of the new contract O'Reilly signed just weeks before he was fired. Fox News announced Wednesday that O'Reilly would be leaving the network. The decision comes after several accusations of sexual harassment and verbal abuse were made against O'Reilly. Wendy Walsh, one of the women to accuse O'Reilly, says there are lessons to be learned from the situation.
I don't know if satisfied is the word. I obviously have mixed emotions because I'm a compassionate person and there's a human being involved. But I do think that Fox made a seismic shift in our corporate culture by putting the rights of women above the bottom line. And as a mother, this is good news for my daughters entering the workplace.
In a statement, O'Reilly denied the allegations, calling them, quote, completely unfounded claims, end quote. Up next, an alligator digs its teeth into the man's best friend.
And a 6-year-old child takes too much risks with scary consequences. Find out what happened after the break.
Oh!
Checking your fantasy league?
Nah, just my 401k statement.
Nice. Where'd you find the money for that?
I just been saving a little every month.
I can't seem to save anything.
Well, what about all this? What about the money you're spending?
What money? It's gone before I can get my hands on it.
I got a pizza for a Todd.
Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
It's 547.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
So I've come up with a family emergency plan.
Great. What is it?
It's difficult to talk about, so I'm not telling you.
How will we know what to do?
You won't.
I'm so glad I won't have to remember anything.
And me too. Thanks for this, sweetie.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana with this developing story. A police officer in France has been shot dead on the Champs-Élysées, a typically busy tourist area. ISIS have claimed responsibility. The assailant opened fire on a police van with what a French government spokesman said was an automatic firearm akin to a quad-war weapon. French President François Hollande says that he is convicted that the circumstances of the shooting point towards a terrorist act. The attacker was shot by police immediately after the shooting came 3 days before the first round of balloting in France's 10th presidential election. Officials say the suspect of the attack was known to French authorities as an extremist.
Environmental Protection Agency Administrator Scott Pruitt visited a Superfund site for the first time in his tenure on Wednesday. Indiana Governor Eric Holcomb and Mayor Anthony Copeland accompanied Pruitt, who toured the site and heard from the residents.
We got to let them know we're not going anywhere.
On a contaminated EPA Superfund site, the residents who feel they've been cast aside are taking a stand.
We are here because thousands of families' lives are at risk. We are here because 90% of the homes in East Chicago have lead contaminated water.
They're here waiting for Indiana's governor to join new EPA Administrator Scott Pruitt. It's his first stop at one of 1,322 Superfund sites across the country since taking control of the EPA.
It's the EPA's objective. My objective as the administrator of the EPA to come in and make sure that people's health is protected here in East Chicago and that they can have confidence that their land, their health is going to be secure for the long term.
But the concern here in East Chicago and in Chicago is the EPA office won't be open long enough to make sure that cleanup happens.
We are here because we want the EPA to know, we want Pruitt to know, we will not stand for Region 5 office in Chicago being moved and dislocated.
In the region, we might lose up to 310 staff, and the latest word is that we might lose the regional office. That is unacceptable.
In a meeting of local, state, and federal minds, East Chicago's mayor said of the possible closure.
I did hear some of the people from the CAG group say that they were assured from some of the Region 5 administrators that that would not happen, that they've been assured that that would not happen.
Thank you very much.
EPA Administrator Scott Pruitt left East Chicago in silence.
Pruitt is the first EPA chief to visit the Superfund site. He says leaders talked about setting concrete steps but didn't offer any details in his 90-second statement and refused questions from reporters.
A 6-year-old Westlake Elementary School student was rescued from a pond yesterday. According to a release from the Metropolitan School District of Wayne Township, Aiden Miller left the playground just before 11 a.m. Miller walked to retention pond on the training grounds of the Wayne Township Fire Department. Wayne Township Fire Department Deputy Chief Rick Scott saw Miller in the pond and went after him. Scott said Miller was struggling to keep his head above water that was about 6 to 7 feet deep. The superintendent of the district said Miller was lost during a scheduled mix-up with races.
In Florida, a 6-year-old Yorkshire Terrier mix named Lily is recovering at home after she was attacked by an alligator on Sunday. Luli Ortiz reports.
She got it by the alligator right here in the grass somewhere, and he started dragging her into the lake. Somehow she got away. He grabbed her again. That's how she got the bad wounds in the back.
Anthony Monti calls Easter Sunday the worst day of his life.
It's heartbreaking. It's just like having a pet is just like having a child, and seeing your child suffer it breaks your heart.
This 6-year-old Yorkie Terrier mix is fighting for its life after being attacked by an alligator. The staff at Clint Moore Animal Hospital stunned to see her standing.
It was one of the worst lacerations that I've seen.
This little fighter has about 50 staples, and Dr. Lindsay Butzner says she's on antibiotics to fight the infection.
When she got here, her whole body was exposed and her insides were coming out, so she knows she was saved.
Monty believes Lily slipped through these railings before the attack.
It's pretty scary, and just about an hour ago, there was an alligator just roaming by.
Monty says this unfortunate incident is a reminder to keep pets leashed near canals.
I had the Wildlife Commission here this morning to file a report, and I showed him the photographs of her wounds, and he doesn't understand how she even survived the attack and how she got away. So we're calling her a little Easter miracle baby.
An alligator trapper is expected to come to the neighborhood to try and catch the alligator.
Later on, find out what's at stake for Ball State's golf team this weekend.
But first, we have your full weather and more with the severe weather update coming up next.
Can you help me with this? My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
He helps me with homework.
That would be 3.6795.
Thanks.
Yep.
He helps me with my decision making.
I wouldn't use this one. Ever.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
I'm learning so much.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
They're coming. Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
So Tatia, we've had some warm weather and some rain here this afternoon. Tony, what can you tell us over at the weather wall?
Well, guys, we definitely have had plenty of rain, but that warm weather does seem to be here for at least the next little while. We're looking at radar right now. This is where the most severe weather was earlier in the day. You can see it's kind of dissipated and moving on from us as we go further on with the day. Now, looking at our almanac, this is pretty impressive here. You're looking at, this is our low today of 66. Even that is cooler than what our average temperature is around this time at 61. We had a high today of 81 degrees. So theme of the last couple of days certainly has been warm. We're even pushing that record there from 1976 of 85 degrees. As we continue on looking at tonight's temperatures, a low of about 49 degrees, cooler temperatures, mostly cloudy with some decent winds, about 10 to 15 miles an hour heading in the northwest direction. Now looking at your precision cast here tonight, moving into tomorrow morning, things start to clear up, but we will see some cooler temperatures for that morning commute tomorrow. Here about 8 a.m. you see radar is pretty clear. But as we continue on and nearing that late night carnival schedule, that's where the rain kind of starts to come back in. Here we're about Friday at 8 o'clock. That's when the rain should be coming more towards our way. Right here you see in Indianapolis, that's where it is right around that time, but it will eventually come towards Muncie. So if you are planning to go to late night carnival, be sure to bring some kind of umbrella or a rain jacket for sure. Looking at Saturday, the rain continues to be all throughout Muncie. It will hit coming from the south at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So rain chances through most of the day Saturday, but then Sunday comes along. That's when we see things really start to clear up and we have more clear weather as the days move on. Now, moving into tomorrow's forecast, looking at 58 degrees, mostly cloudy with some afternoon rain chances also in the evening, as I said. Winds going north-northwest at about 11 miles an hour. Moving into your 7-day forecast, you can see there the warm temperatures really start to come at the beginning of next week, especially there Monday and Tuesday, looking at 70 degrees and 74 degrees for our highs on both of those days. Pretty clear once we get past the weekend, Sunday and Monday, pretty clear skies. Our next significant chance of rain coming probably on Thursday with a high of about 75 degrees. So we definitely have some decent weather coming our way once we get past this rain here today and tomorrow and Saturday.
Thank you, Tony, for the weather update. Find out how a Wabani grad made it onto the air at ESPN.
And we take a look at what's in store for Ball State battling sports next.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know, wherever you are.
Cook foods to the right temperature using a food thermometer. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
So, I got this new family.
And I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
You wanted to be a teacher when you were little, but things changed. Teaching didn't seem that cool anymore, so you decided to become something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Amazing things are happening in teaching, so it's time to put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
This is NewsLink Indiana Sports, presented by The Haven.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Anne-Marie Toller with sports. Ball State baseball team is currently on an 8-game winning streak, and the team looks to continue their streak tomorrow with a Mid-American Conference Series at Buffalo. Game will begin at 3. Former Wapahani baseball player Zach Thompson ended up being the #1 play on SportsCenter's top 10 plays of the night. Thompson helped the Raiders win a Delaware County's first state baseball championship in 2014. Thompson opted not to sign with the Tampa Bay Rays after being drafted by the team in the 11th round draft of the MLB draft in June. Thompson, who is currently a freshman at the University of Kentucky, threw a pitch that would lead to the first triple play in program history, along with the #1 play on SportsCenter. Ball State women's golf team is set to play in the Mid-American Conference Championship this weekend in Northeast Ohio at Silver Lakes Country Club. The 3-day 54-hole tournament will determine the league's automatic qualifiers for the NCAA Championship. In the 2010 and 2012, Ball State finished as MAC runner-up. Ball State enters the MAC Conference Championship with 2 victories in the past 3 events. Coach Catherine Mount is ready. Talks about what the team is to expect this weekend.
We're feeling really good. The weather's been wonderful for the last week and a half of practice. We're coming off some great success, some really fun travel tournaments and great experiences this spring. And this is, what it all boils down to is this conference tournament, and we're riding the wave of confidence and just really good momentum, and knowing that our hard work and our commitment and the way we've been doing things has led to success and will continue to work for us.
Ball State softball team will close its home portion of their season with a 3-game series versus Toledo. Ball State is currently tied for first place in the Mid-American Conference with 11-4 record. With only 3 weekends of MAC action remaining, the Cardinals are tied for first in the MAC West Division with rivals Central Michigan. The Cardinals will play a doubleheader on Friday starting at 1 with a single game Saturday afternoon at 1. It's an exciting weekend up ahead for Ball State sports.
Yes, absolutely. Find out what's on Muncie's Broadway this week.
And we have the lowdown on this year's late night carnival at Ball State in your entertainment news next.
Hey, did you know 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Let's go to theshelterpetproject.org and meet if you are in a shelter near you. Harlow, oh, she's one great listener and loves to hear all your stories. My kind of cat. Cerulo is a sweet, goofy boy who's eager to please. Sounds just like another dog I know. So go to theshelterpetproject.org, search your local shelters and rescues, and go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self. And I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm David Kahn with your entertainment news. The play Concrete Clouds will continue showing at the Cave Studio Theater in the Arts and Communications Building tonight, tomorrow night, twice on Saturday, and one final time Sunday afternoon. The student-written and developed play is part of this year's new play project. It is about two teenage girls who see the same therapist and focuses on how lives can be changed for the better by having somebody there to listen. Tickets for all shows are $6 and can be purchased at the University Theater box office 1 hour before performances and tomorrow from noon to 5, as well as online at bsu.tix.com. Meanwhile, at the Edward S. Struthers Studio Theater in the Arts and Communications Building, the play Anna in the Tropics will resume showing tonight, tomorrow, and twice on Saturday. It is part of the Struthers Studio series. The play takes place in 1929 Tampa Bay in the middle of the cigar industry, where cigar factory owners hire lectors to entertain and educate workers while they hand-roll cigars. Tickets are $12 for students and $15 for the general public. They can be bought at the University Theater box office 1 hour before each performance and tomorrow from noon to 5, as well as online at bsu.tix.com. And finally, the carnival is in town. The Late Night Carnival returns to Ball State tomorrow night, allowing students to have some fun as the school year winds down. The end of the spring semester is right around the corner, which means the Late Night Carnival is back in Muncie. The yearly event takes place tomorrow from 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. at the North Commuter parking lot. It awaits students looking to have some fun before the end of the school year. It will have games, food, and 18 different rides, something students are looking forward to.
Probably that the ride that goes back and forth like that, and I think it spins too. It was a lot of fun last year. I went on it like 3 times.
The carnival will also feature different types of entertainment with live performances from various musicians, as well as a fireworks show at 10 p.m. The carnival also brings back memories for some students of when they went last year.
Last year, I remember we went on the, wasn't called the High Zone, but it was like a, not necessarily a roller coaster, but sort of was, and that was my favorite event. That's the one my first on the bucket list. Hopefully I'll get in front of the line and be able to go first.
Students can still pre-register for the Late Night Carnival tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Scramble Light and the Student Center, allowing those who do so to enter the carnival an hour early at 6 p.m. Admission is free for students, and guests can get in for $5, but must be accompanied by a Ball State student. That's all for entertainment. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, David. And Tony, what can you tell us about tomorrow's carnival weather?
Well, the carnival weather is going to be a little wet. We've got a little bit of a rain chance for tomorrow, mainly tomorrow night. That'll probably be when it gets there, so definitely bring some kind of umbrella or rain jacket. Luckily, though, once we get past the weekend, Sunday, Monday, looking wonderful, so definitely a great start to the week with those 60, 70, 74 degree temperatures to look forward to.
That's all. Thank you, Tony. For tonight for NewsLink Indiana, this is our final newscast of the academic year. Be sure to come back in September for a new year of NewsLink.
We'll still be keeping you up to date on the big stories on ballstatesdaily.com. And be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Have a good night.